But yeah, Anime 405 was really cool. So that leads me to my next thing. Originally, after I was supposed to leave the con on Sunday, I get an email last Wednesday, I think. I got an email from a friend who works at Paramount. And she was like, hey, you've been selected if you are available. We are going to be having the Sonic 3 movie premiere on Monday, December 16th at the Chinese movie theater in Los Angeles. And I was like, what? And bro, I was like panicking. I was like, no, what? Why now? Damn it, I have a con. Hold on, I can make this work. I was freaking the fuck out, chat. I had to scramble everything. I was like, okay, how do I make it work? And the only solution I thought was, I have to fly directly from the con to Los Angeles. It's the only way. It's the only way. And it literally was the only way. So I switched my flight from Sunday to Monday at 6 in the fucking morning to LAX.
Younger sibling drew something for you to sign at Metrocan and was wondering if you still had the drawing.
Oh yeah, I have it in the
Have a great stream.
Thank you, Rody. I have it in that big ass binder. I have a big ass binder where I put a bunch of fan art in there. So thank you. But yeah, I flew into LAX. We left Oklahoma at I think 6 a.m. and we got to LAX at like 9:30. And brother, I was beyond tired. I told myself, I was like, is it cheaper to rent a car or do I Lyft everywhere? And I rented a car. And I'm gonna tell you why, chat. Because getting a Lyft or a taxi out of LAX at that time, 9 a.m., that bitch is like $100 to $200. Like, you know, that's what it's gonna cost. While me renting the car for the day was 80 bucks. So I'm like, let me rent the car. I'll save anywhere from $200 to $300 depending, and I'll be good. So I rented the car. I had to drive at like 9:30. Rush hour wasn't that bad. And you know what the first thing I did was, chat? I didn't go home. I didn't go to I didn't go to my house in LA. I went to the gym. I went to the gym. I got on the treadmill. I did some weights. My triceps are still burning. But I did that shit because I was like, I didn't work out this weekend at all. I've got 6 hours, maybe 7 before I gotta get ready for this premiere. I gotta get swole, chat. By the way, I should have mentioned, I scrambled to get a fit for this premiere, by the way, because I was talking with my friend Chris, and I was like, bro, I'm thinking about wearing my Sonic Crocs because I think it'd be funny. And he goes, don't you dare fucking do that. And I was like, oh, for real? He's like, you should dress like a professional. And I was like, damn. Okay. Okay. So I like tried to be somewhat business casual. Like I got a button down shirt. I got this leather jacket, which was like half leather jacket, half hoodie, which I thought was really cool. I tried to match the aesthetic of like Shadow. Like I got a red belt, which looked really cool. These white shoes with like red and black on them. I got like my Apple Watch had like the armband. I switched it to this like black kind of chain thing. I wanted to get like a gold one to match his like ring gauntlet thing, but I was like, nah, that's too much. Like I think the black was the right call. And I even had the Shadow necklace. I'm so sad. Like, Shadow the Hedgehog logo was my necklace. I'm so mad that in all of the pictures, you can't see that fucking thing. That's why I wish it was I wish there was like a bigger version of that. Which I was like, damn it. Damn it. So yeah. So I went to the gym. Then I went to get coffee afterwards. And then I went to the house and I was so tired. I talked to Dawn and Ben for a bit. And then I literally played Indiana Jones. I tried to play Marvel Rivals with like Zen and all of them, but they were filled up. I tried that again today and found out that you can't do ranked crossplay. So I have to play Marvel Rivals all over again on my PC just so I can play with some friends, which is great. It was specifically ranked, by the way, because there's no cross save, which is fine. I'm not even that much of a fucking ranked gamer, but you know what? To play with some homies, I'll do it. But anyway, I played Indiana Jones and it was a blast. And I was like, okay, time to get ready. So I started getting ready. I was coordinating with Zeno because Zeno also got invited. And we're like, oh yeah, we'll go together. Like, it'll be really cool. He was bringing his friend Alexis. Alexis is really cool. And I was originally going to bring Chris, who works at Sega, as one of the lore guys. But he ended up winning a raffle, which got him a ticket. So I was like, oh, okay, then whatever. So, and it was so last minute that I couldn't get a +1, and Hayden was busy. They were directing all day. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go with Zeno and Alexis. It'll be real cool. It'll be real chill. We'll just go. And I show up and I'm like, okay, there's Will Call. And I found out that Zeno and I had like different tickets. It was weird. I don't know. Like, his was a creator's one while mine wasn't, but I was still able to get my ticket and be on the blue carpet, which was really funny. And then my friend, Katie, who ended up getting us the tickets, like, he was like, yeah, if you have any issues, let us know. And I was like, okay. Because I wasn't invited as a, like, content creator. I was just invited. So I was like, oh, okay. Which, by the way, I saw so many goddamn content creators from TikTok. Like, literally, there were so many, like, the dudes that constantly make the side-eye joke. I saw those guys. I saw, like, people I haven't even seen make content in, like, years. So I was like, damn, what the fuck? This is crazy. So me and Zeno and Alexis go down the blue carpet after a bit. And then it kind of, I'm not gonna lie, chat, it kind of got a little weird for me. So, because Zeno got the creator's ticket, he got these blue wristbands, which would allow him into the Chow Garden, right? Which was like this little lounge thing while people waited for the movie to start. I was like, okay. And he only had 2 of them. I didn't get those blue wristbands. So I was like, oh, okay. And Zeno was like, oh, well, you can come with us. And security was like, nah. Like, who's it gonna be? And I was like, well, don't ditch Alexis. Like she's your +1. I'll go in the theater. I'll just wait. And, you know, right? I didn't mind. Not a big deal. I did see Fidel. He was in there, which obviously. And I said hi to my boy, and then I had to go because they were like, it's like, hey, everybody, you gotta either get in the lounge or get in the theater. Like, it was one or the other because they were bringing in like Ben Schwartz and Keanu and Jim Carrey for the blue carpet, right? Like, they were bringing in the actual actors. So I was like, okay. And I was like, cool, no worries. I'll go in the theater. So I go to the theater, and security is like, you can't come in. And I was like, huh? But they just told me to go in the theater. And it's like, right, but you're not in this theater. And I was like, what? It's like, right, you're in auditorium 1. And I was like, what does that mean? And like, yeah, you have to go back through the blue carpet. And I was like, huh? But okay. And I go to the blue carpet, and the security's like, you can't come here. And I was like, I understand that. The security that's at the front door of the theater told me I can't go in. And they're like, what? This security guard was just as confused as I was. And he was like, no, you're supposed to go through there because we're letting in. And I was like, hey, I totally get it. I'll go back and I'll say the exact same thing you told me. He's like, thank you. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be mad at the security guard. He's not, you know, he's just doing his fucking thing. He's telling everybody, because literally for the past like 30 minutes, they're gonna be like, hey, we're closing up the blue carpet for like general. You either gotta go in the theater or you gotta go to the Chow Garden. So, okay. I was like, sure. So I go back to the lady. I was like, hey, I'm just relaying what they told me. They told me I either gotta, you know, they told me I have to go in the theater. And she's like, what? You can't go in here. And I'm like, lady, they told me I can't go through there because it's closed. And she's like, well, then how are you gonna get over to Auditorium 1? And I was like, you tell me? You tell me? And then she's like, let me call my manager. And I was like, totally fair. Guy comes by, super sweet guy. He's like, can I see your ticket, sir? And I was like, absolutely, here you are. He's like, yeah, you're in Auditorium 1. Tell you what, here. And he opens up the gate. The easiest thing he could have done. The easiest thing this woman could have done. Opens up the gate, just go through here, go to the 3rd floor, Auditorium 1. And I was like, thank you. And then he accidentally sliced his hand, and I was more concerned about that than getting to the fucking movie. I was like, you good? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I was like, you sure? He's like, yeah, I'm good. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay, I guess I'll just go to the fucking movie. So I go upstairs, I go to the movie, and it's empty. Like, I'm the only person there. It's me and 2 other guys, right? So I was like, okay, cool. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. So I'm just like waiting. I guess I'm sitting, and I was like, this feels weird. Like, I feel like I just got, you know, sent to the, you know, I got sent to the fucking bench, or like I got sent to the fucking, like, it's like, yeah, you got kicked out without knowing you got kicked out. Like, that's what it felt like to me. So I was like, okay, cool. I was like starting to get in my head a little bit. And then I met, his name is Christopher Sean. It was like, this guy had like just charisma, like oozing out of him. He was a voice actor. He's a voice actor and an actor, apparently. I found out he's been in a soap opera for like 17 years is what he told us. And I was like, the fuck are you talking about? And this dude, he was like, yeah, I just met Alejandro. He's really cool. And I was like, we said hello. And he's like introducing me to these 2 guys who were also like content creators and stuff. And we're like talking. And he's like, oh yeah, I like voice act, like my episode of Secret Level is coming out, which it already came out. And that's the only reason I had to double check to make sure. And I was like, oh. And then I realized, I was like, oh, you're fucking Nightwing. He's Nightwing. This dude is Nightwing in Arkham Knights. And he's also Ultraman in Ultraman Rising. And I was like, oh shit, you're that guy. That's really fucking cool. So yeah. And then we like talked for a bit, and he's like, well, what have you done? And I was like, oh, and I thought of Persona first because we're at a Sega event, right? I was like, oh, I'm in Persona 3 Reload. And he's like, oh shit. And the 2 guys we were talking to were like, oh fuck, really? And I was like, yeah, I'm like Hiko. And they're like, oh, that's really fucking cool. And you know, that kind of calmed my nerves for a bit. But like the movie's starting at 7. It's now 6:30, and we're like, I guess we'll go in. So we grabbed the free popcorn they gave us, and we go in the movie theater. Right? And it's empty. And it doesn't look, and it's just another movie theater. Like it's because you know what I'm saying? Like when you think of the Chinese theater, and I had been to the Chinese theater before, and it was for the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie years ago, back in like 2018, right? I remember being there. I remember being in the main fucking theater, and it was huge, right? And this wasn't it. I was just in like another AMC movie theater is what it was. And I was like, okay. I'm sitting down. I'm like waiting. Christopher is behind me. And I was like, okay. And I'm like starting to panic a little. I was like, I wonder who they send here, you know? And I start texting Zeno. I start texting my friend Chris, who you know, won the raffle. I was like, hey bro, are you already seated? Zeno wasn't messaging me because I love Zeno. Motherfucker lives in Do Not Disturb. That's just the way it is. Like, my guy literally lives in Do Not Disturb. And I can't blame him, you know? But I ask him, like I start sending texts, and I'm like seeing every now and then, I see a bunch of parents with their kids like come in, and I'm like, am I like the kiddie table? Like, what the fuck is going on? So I was just confused. And then I get a message from Chris. And I was like, hey, are you in the theater? And he's like, yeah, where are you? And I'm like, this is my seat. And he's like, I'm on the left side. And I'm like, the left side? Like section left is what he told me. And I was like, send me a picture of where you're at. And he sends me a picture. And he's in that theater I remember from like 2018. We are in different theaters entirely. And I'm like, yeah, we're in different theaters. He's like, no fucking shit. That sucks. And I was like, you know what? I'm just glad you're in there. Because if he had been my +1, he would have been in this theater. And I'm like, you work on Sonic. You should be where the Sonic shit is at, right? Like, that was my brain. Like, I'm like, no, you should be there. So I'm like, you know what? I'm glad. And then Zeno texts me. And Zeno's like, no, I'm meant to be in Auditorium 1. And I was like, okay, well, that's where I'm at. He's like, you're in Auditorium 1? I'm like, yeah, I'm in Auditorium 1. He's like, okay. So it's like 6:50. This movie's supposed to start at 7. Spoilers, it doesn't start at 7. Surprise, surprise. So, you know, it's 6:50, and now people are starting to come in. And as more and more people start to come in, I start to notice something. I start to notice, oh, this is the Sonic fans room. Because chat, I was told by Chris, I don't know how true this is, but there were multiple auditoriums, like multiple theaters, right? But I noticed with ours, I noticed Fidel, I noticed Aru, I noticed Rogers Base, I noticed like content creators who were dripped in like Sonic clothing. Like they were trying to look professional, but dressed in Sonic stuff. And I was like, oh, we're okay. And I was feeling a little bummed, right? I was feeling a little bummed because I was like, damn, I'm like, part of me was like, was this worth it? Like, was this worth like coming out to LA for like risking my fucking mental health and fucking energy to like not to do this when I'm going to watch this movie again on Thursday, you know? And I was like, fuck, dude, I'm feeling a little bummed, you know? And then literally the movie theater, like the movie's not starting, but the movie theater, like I remember it starts playing like the instrumental of Live and Learn, just cause like, you know, waiting room music, you know, cause the movie's not starting and it's waiting for everybody to come inside. And it starts playing Live and Learn and I like smile. And then this motherfucker walks into the theater and shouts my name, Alejandro! And it's fucking Zeno shouting in the middle of this fucking theater, pointing at the screen, and he's like, Live and Learn! And it made me fucking laugh so much that I was like, that's a real homie. That motherfucker made my night. Like, I was like, shit, dude. That was awesome. And yeah, because we weren't seated next to each other because we were given assigned seats. So I'm like in section F and he's like in section D or whatever. So he goes to his seat. We're just like talking about it and stuff. But yeah, so, you know, that cheered me up a bit. And then before the movie starts, Jeff Fowler, the director of the movie, comes and greets us with his presence, and graces us with his presence. And he says some things, and then he says, we have two folks who wanna want to say hi to you guys. And then Ben Schwartz and Keanu Reeves walk up to the middle of the fucking theater. And I recorded all of this shit. And I was like, okay, maybe this was a little worth it. Bro, I was like, hey, yo, what the fuck? Because at this point, I was like, oh, we're not even going to get to see the actors or directors. So, like, they say some nice shit. And it was really cool. And then Ben is like, like, you got, if it wasn't for you guys, this movie wouldn't be happening, like, all this stuff. And it was really cool. It was really sweet and genuine. And yeah, and then they leave. I remember someone shouts, "You're breathtaking!" And then Keanu looks back at them and he, like, you know, touches his heart. And I was like, hey, that's cool. And then literally the moment they leave, lights off, movie starts. And it just starts. And bro, what a great fucking movie. Fantastic movie, right? Randomest thing, by the way. Randomest thing. So sitting next to me, were two individuals. One of them left, because I think they just had something. But, this girl behind me, she was like, I love your work, by the way. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, I really like OKKO and Steven Universe. And I was like, huh? Turns out it was Ian and Rebecca Sugar sitting next to me. The creators of OKKO and Steven. I was like, huh? What the fuck? And the crazy part about it is, I had actually talked with Ian prior. Because I don't know if I can, like, they told us we can say this, but I'm gonna hold off on fully saying it. But I had done a thing that involved the movie. It wasn't voiceover stuff, but Ian was a part of that and we had a whole discussion. But I'll talk about that once the movie is out, just in case. But yeah, it was just a pleasant surprise. I was like, I've talked to this man more than once and I didn't know that was him. Damn. Well, shit. I just thought he was a Sonic nerd. That's neat. I mean, he still is a Sonic nerd, but that's neat. But yeah, so we're watching the movie. And God, it's so good. The movie finishes. And to return the favor, the screen lights turn on. I stand up and I just go, Zeno! Like, I literally don't care about anybody else in this theater. I just shout out, Zeno! And he turns back at me and he goes, Andro, that was the shit! And the whole theater goes, yeah! Everyone's like, fuck yeah! Bro, that shit made my night. Zeno comes up and is like, bro, we gotta talk. We gotta talk. Because we left with so many theories and just so much conversation. It was really cool. I texted my friend, Chris, who's in the other theater, and I was like, how was it for you? And he took, because like throughout the movie, right, without spoiling anything, people had reactions, right? They were cackling, they were laughing, they were like, they were, you know, the whole nines, right? Like they were doing everything in between, right? And I asked Chris, I was like, how's your movie? And he was like, dog, no one made a peep. And I was like, huh? Turns out, because all the Sonic fans were in the other room, it was all press. It was all press and people who didn't know shit about Sonic in the main room. And I was like, that's crazy. And he's like, yeah. Cool part though, Jim Carrey was right next to me. And I was like, Jim Carrey was here? What? I was like, wait a minute, he didn't come to our theater. What do you mean, Jim Carrey? But yeah, apparently Jim Carrey was next to him while Ben Schwartz was behind him. And I'm like, brother, what? I was like, that's so fucking cool, dude. I was like, I'm really glad you got in that room. And by the way, can confirm that thing about no one making a peep. Because Fidel posted today, or he posted about watching the movie last night, because everybody and their mother was posting that stuff. And literally Ben Schwartz responded to him, because at this point, Fidel, Games Cage, is just one of the many most vocal Sonic guys, right? And literally Ben Schwartz responded to him, and I'm trying to find this tweet so I can see exactly what he said. But it was one of those where it was like, Ben was like, I wish I was in the room with you guys. Let me see if I can find this shit. Yeah. This is the interaction. Here, I'm just gonna post here. Hold on. I'm gonna show you the reaction Fidel had after watching the movie. Hold on. You can already tell by his shaking.
I would do anything. I would sacrifice any person, anything that exists to bring me back to those last 30 minutes, bro. I would literally
That is true.
shatter humanity to bring me back to those last 30 minutes. That shit. Oh my God.
Yeah. Can attest. And then Ben Schwartz goes, bro. And he's like, how did you do that to me? And Ben was like, were all of you guys in that second theater we came to say hi at the beginning of? Wish we could have caught all of you reacting to the last act of the movie. Cause dude, that last 30 minutes. Chat, the movie is good. Those last 30 minutes are fucking great. Oh my God. It's such a good movie. Wait, who is that again? That's just Fidel Games Cage. He's literally just a dude that is a huge mega fan of Sonic and is so known within the Sonic community of like how much he loves the franchise. Like does the last 30 minutes include the post-credit scene? I don't think it does, but the post-credit scenes are awesome. Hey, what up, EC? But anyway, so it doesn't end there. So we leave the theater, right? Me and Zeno are talking. I see my buddy Roger, like Roger's base. We started talking about the stuff. Then we talk with Fidel and Aru. Aru doesn't recognize me. Just to show, Fidel had to be like, Aru, this is CyYu. And she's like, oh, what? And I'm like, I'm gonna fucking lose it. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking lose it. It still happens, chat. It happened. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna message my friend Katie in the future and be like, hey, so this is my VTuber. I've done a whole playthrough of Shadow. I've played multiple Sonic games on stream. Like, I got 1 million followers on TikTok. Take notice of that before TikTok is gone forever. But yeah, I was just like, that's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, and then Zeno and I like were talking about it the whole night with Alexis and yeah. So then our friend Chris texts us. He's like, hey, you guys want to meet up at Dave & Buster's? Because apparently the content creators were meeting there. And we're like, sure, we'll swing by for a bit. Originally, we're like, let's get dinner. And then it was like getting late. So we're like, you know what? We'll swing by, say hi to Chris. Because I felt bad because we wanted to hang out with Chris the whole night. And then they put him in a different room completely. And so we go to Dave & Buster's. We go say hi to Chris. And and then we also go say hi to Katie and thank Katie for inviting us and all that stuff. I told them if they needed anything ever to like, you know, let me know. Yeah, it was just really cool. We like talked with Chris and like, you know, theorized about stuff. And yeah, it was just a good time. But on our way to Dave & Buster's, there was a guy and there was just a guy standing by the elevator. You ever hear those stories about, I really thought we were gonna get flashed. I thought we were gonna get flashed. I thought this motherfucker was like jerking it. I thought he was like pissing, like, bro, it was crazy. Like, we were just like, me and Alexis were like, side-eyeing, you know what I mean? Because we're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Because like he was like fixing his pants or whatever, and we're like, what the fuck? And we get up in the elevator, and me and Alexis are like, that was fucking weird, right? And Zeno's like, what? Yeah, that guy was weird, huh? And we're like, Zeno. And after we leave with Dave and Buster's, I was like, I'm just glad we didn't run into that guy again. And I straight up say it. Like, I was like, yeah, I thought he was like jerking it or about to take a piss or something. And Alexis like, yeah, me too. And Zeno's like, what? And we're like, Zeno, what did you think he was gonna do? I thought he was gonna run and jump. I was like, what are you talking about? We're like, huh? How could you possibly think that? And he's like, I don't know, I thought he was getting like a running head start. I was like, by adjusting his pants? Like, that motherfucker cracks me up, dude. I love Zeno. That dude fucking kills me. I was like, sure, buddy, sure. But yeah, we ended up getting in some lifts. I went home. And then yeah, now here we are. One Sonic movie later. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so much fun. Highly recommend watching it if you haven't already. I definitely plan to. I'm really glad Zeno was there, because if I was by myself, I definitely feel like I would have left. Yeah. If I didn't have Zeno and Alexis with me, I think I would have left. Which is a damn shame. Because, like, up until that point, like, I was like, this kind of blows a little for me. Like, I just felt so... Like, I was already not comfortable not having a beard. Like, I was already not comfortable not having my beard. Who is Alexis? Oh, just a friend of ours. Literally just a friend of ours. Yeah, like, literally, like, part of me was like, I don't have a beard. I feel like I look fucking stupid. Like, I feel like this isn't a good enough fit. Like, I was just like, damn, like, I was so over my head. Like, I was just like, dog, ugh. But, yeah. No, the night turned around. It was really cool. And the movie is definitely worth it. So yeah. And I definitely plan to watch it, like, 2-3 more times. Probably 4. Probably 4. But anyway, yeah. Yeah. That was my experience going to the premiere of Sonic 3. I think it's gonna do more box office than Mufasa. If Mufasa beats out Sonic, that's disgusting. Which was really funny, by the way. The entire time we were doing the premiere, across the street, there was promotion of Mufasa, and I was like, fuck no, dude, who's watching that shit? Bro, that thing has like a 50-something on Rotten Tomatoes, while Sonic 3 has a 96. It's actually crazy. But anyway,